Welcome back to the news. We kick things off with a story about the electric vehicle world that went from ambitious to absolute collapse. Fisker did what most failed EV startups never do, and the story of Fisker's implosion is a masterclass in navigating failure. We dive into how the Fisker Owners Association formed, how they created distribution companies like Automotive and Tidal Wave to help drivers get replacements for everything from fobs to windshields, and how they even managed to get a seat at the bankruptcy hearing to ensure recalls were funded. This is the untold story of how one company tried to revolutionize EVs and what the owners did when the ship sank. While EV demand cools down. This is a major move against the trend, and we examine the long-term implications for manufacturing jobs and the global energy transition. Finally, we look at the geopolitical earthquake shaking the auto industry. While American automakers like Ford and General Motors have pulled back on EVs, the Iran war has created an unprecedented opportunity for Chinese automakers. We examine how the skyrocketing gas prices are handing a golden ticket to companies like BYD, detailing their three-pronged strategy to dominate the market by focusing on quality, reinvention, and speed. Stay with us because this is how the global auto landscape is being completely reshaped. Don't forget to check out our free newsletters for smart advice and support your next big purchase. Fisker, a highly publicized electric vehicle startup, known for ambitious plans like integrating solar panels, ultimately declared bankruptcy in 2024. While many failed EV companies never delivered vehicles, Fisker managed to deliver cars to customers before folding, leaving some owners with vehicles lacking a current manufacturer. In response to the brand's collapse, owners have mobilized to support one another. An owner of a Fisker Ocean shared on Reddit detailing how the community is navigating the brand's supernova. The initial response involved establishing the Fisker Owners Association, a nonprofit dedicated to advocating for owners, providing resources, and keeping them informed. Crucially, the association secured a seat at the bankruptcy hearing, ensuring funding was allocated for software and hardware recalls affecting owner vehicles. To address immediate needs, volunteers formed two parts distribution companies, Automotive for North American owners and Tidal Wave for European owners. These subsidiaries facilitated replacements for essential items like fobs, windshields, and brake pads. Furthermore, the association established a volunteer network to facilitate software updates at global meetups, successfully updating thousands of vehicles to date. Commenters on Reddit praised the owners' collective action. One highly commended the efforts, noting that the Owners Association managed to gain access to vehicles in ways that original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, typically restrict, highlighting the potential for owner-driven progress when major corporations are not obstructing desired features. Uber CEO Dara Khosrowshahi has outlined a strategic vision for the company's future, focusing heavily on the integration of artificial intelligence, the electric vehicle, EV market, and the immense potential of the Indian market as Uber's largest growth opportunity. Speaking in an interview with the Economic Times, Khosrowshahi detailed how these technological and geographical shifts are poised to redefine Uber's trajectory. The discussions centered on leveraging AI to optimize operations, enhance user experiences, and improve efficiency across their platform. Furthermore, the CEO emphasized the critical importance of the transition to electric mobility, positioning EVs as a key component of Uber's sustainable growth strategy. Crucially, Khosrow Shahi highlighted India not just as a significant emerging market, but as the sector where Uber sees the greatest potential for expansion and market dominance. The report suggests that strategic investments in technology and localized strategies are essential to capitalize on India's rapidly evolving transportation landscape, making it the cornerstone of Uber's future global success. General Motors has announced a significant $1.4 billion investment aimed at bolstering its gas vehicle production capabilities as electric vehicle demand softens. The funding is earmarked for 3 U.S.-based plants and a Canadian factory dedicated to producing engines for gasoline-powered vehicles. This strategic spending is designed to prepare the automaker for upcoming truck and large SUV models, including the Chevrolet Silverado and Cadillac Escalade, while simultaneously reinforcing manufacturing activity across Michigan, Ohio, and Ontario. The investment is distributed across several key facilities. GM will allocate $300 million to its Romulus, Michigan plant to increase transmission capacity, $150 million to a casting plant in Saginaw, Michigan, and an additional $40 million to a Toledo, Ohio, plant to boost transmission production. Furthermore, the facility in Ontario is receiving approximately $500 million to develop the next generation of its V8 engines. The timing of this announcement is noteworthy. It comes amid softer EV demand and ongoing pressure from the Trump administration to increase domestic manufacturing investment. While the ongoing conflict in Iran is driving some consumer interest in EVs as a hedge against volatile gas prices, the broader economic trajectory suggests that long-term bets on combustion technology are increasingly risky as the global economy shifts toward cleaner energy. This pivot by GM is not an isolated move. Other major automakers, such as Honda, have also reported shifting away from EV production and reinvesting in gasoline vehicles. While automakers may anticipate strong short-term profits from current truck and SUV models, fossil fuel-linked businesses are facing mounting long-term pressures. Although this spending is positive for preserving current jobs and maintaining factory operations, industry analysts suggest GM's decision may conflict with long-term benefits for the environment and the planet as the transportation sector evolves toward cleaner alternatives. The recent escalation in the Iran war has created a significant market opportunity for Chinese automakers as American manufacturers pivot away from electric vehicles, coinciding with a sharp rise in global fuel prices. While Detroit automakers have recently faced substantial setbacks in their EV strategies, the geopolitical and economic shifts are favoring Chinese competitors. American manufacturers have signaled a clear retreat from the EV market. Ford announced a $19.5 billion write-down on its EV business, discontinuing its all-electric F-150 pickup in favor of a hybrid model. General Motors also reported $7.6 billion in total EV-related charges, abandoning plans for new EV production at a Michigan facility in favor of gas-powered vehicles. These moves reflect a perception among U.S. consumers that the high cost of EVs, coupled with inflation and a softening labor market, makes the purchase less appealing without significant incentives. However, the war-induced surge in gas prices, reaching $4.51 nationally as of Sunday, a 50% increase from late February, has complicated this calculus. Experts suggest this price shock is providing a crucial opening for Chinese EV makers, such as BYD, to gain traction. Chinese automakers have strategically positioned themselves for this moment through a multi-pronged approach. This strategy involved mastering vehicle quality through partnerships, focusing on reinventing the EV category rather than competing directly in the combustion engine space, and achieving rapid design and manufacturing speeds. This approach has yielded significant success, with Chinese brands now surpassing Western giants like Volkswagen in domestic sales and expanding their global footprint, with 1 in 10 vehicles in Europe now being Chinese-made. Affordability is a key driver of this success. While government subsidies have historically supported Chinese EV production, the market is also seeing competitive pricing, exemplified by BYD's affordable compact hatchback selling for $10,300 in China. Analysts suggest the ultimate goal for Chinese companies is market share dominance, prioritizing volume over immediate profit. Meanwhile, the U.S. government views China as a strategic threat, imposing tariffs and proposing bans on Chinese EVs for national security reasons. Nevertheless, the sustained high cost of fuel may be shifting consumer sentiment, as evidenced by a rise in used EV sales, which are currently priced significantly lower than new models. This market shift presents a dual challenge for legacy automakers, effectively pouring salt on a wound, as Chinese companies are poised to capitalize on the changing economic landscape.